Chechnya and Russia, a 20th century nationalist conflict. How it all started, you may ask? Well, let's begin. First of all, Chechnya is a small territory that lies within the Russian Federation along the border with Georgia. Chechnya has been fighting against foreigners for centuries, but has claimed itself independent from the Russian Federation just decades ago. To find out why Chechnya is trying to gain independence from the Russian Federation, we must take a look at the past. Since the 16th century, Russian czars undertook several events to join the North Caucasus, or the region between the Black and Caspian Seas, including Chechnya, into Russia. In 1859, after 25 years of guerrilla warfare, Russian rule was eventually established. Yet, the Russian rule was strong and already established into the North Caucasus. The Caucasians made every attempt to overthrow the foreign rule. In 1864, fearing new revolts of the Caucasus, the Russian government exiled large numbers of Chechens, as well as other Caucasian people, to Turkey. This act by the Russian government proved to be insufficient, and in 1877, a popular revolt started up in Chechnya and Dagestan. The uprising was soon ruthlessly suppressed. Near the end of 1917, the Soviets assumed control in the Chechen territory. As a way to try and intimidate and control the Chechen leaders, the Soviet authorities used political repression against them. The measure of political repression reached its highest point on July 28, 1937, when Stalin's security police representative gave instructions to the assembled party leader to give a super purge. As a result, thousands of people in the Chechen English Republic were either arrested and executed or deported. Even though most of the Chechens opposed the Germans, collaboration with the Nazi regime was used as an excuse to deport Chechens to Kazakhstan and Central Asia. During World War II, Chechens had extreme difficulties in the Russian army, both because they didn't speak and understand Russian and because their ways were not respected. The Red Army soon accepted no Chechens, and those who were already serving were dismissed. However, two parts of volunteers from the Chechnya English Republic were formed, but were not exactly recognized, leaving them unsupplied without tanks and artillery. This caused the divisions to find it difficult to resist the Germans advancing towards Stalingrad. Even though the entire southern front collapsed, the Chechnya English Republic were blamed for the defeat. The Chechens were also accused of collaboration with the Germans. In February 1944, the Red Army arrested large numbers of Chechens, many in which were executed without trial. The accused collaboration was used to deport approximately 408,000 Chechens to settlements in Central Asia and Siberia. Soon the Chechens were allowed to return and were promised credit, housing, and work. The return of the Chechens was the cause of the gravest and longest lasting tensions. Housing and unemployment were insufficient, and tensions grew between the Chechens and the Russians who had settled in their villages and cities. As you can see, there are many reasons why the Chechens should be able to split from the Russian Federation, but both sides have committed terrible acts. The want to split from the Russian Federation has become so outrageous that Chechens are using acts of terrorism that are believed to be an act to try and destabilize the Russian influence in Chechnya. These suspected acts of terrorism for independence include the Domodedova airport bombing, the Bezian school hostages, and the Boston bombing. As in always, thank you for watching.